Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Indulge me as I go further into this AFL astrology rabbit hole on this day where Carlton are going to be playing the Swans. If you have been on board for any of my astrology AFL rabbit holes, you'll know that Carlton are the team that started me off on this rabbit hole. So we are supporting Carlton because I do believe the universe has given them a pretty huge task in relation to responding to collective energy and the power that it has while we are sitting in this space between the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius. So it has been brought to my attention that there are some Carlton supporters out there sitting in a place of having their trauma triggered from 2011 because before my time, so if my information is not spot on, um, just be a little kind about it. So in 2011, they were in a similar position on the ladder and they overdid it in the game and a lot of people got injured and it kind of ruined their chances. And so there are some supporters out there sitting in a little bit of having their traumas triggered. And as we know, as we've seen everybody talk about, that is not the energy that the Carlton team find most supportive. So this is one of those times where blame the moon. Because, of course, my interest in deep diving this astrological energy and the way the universe is providing energy to everybody right now, I, of course, had to go back and look at this game from 2011 and compare it to the energy that is available to the team from the universe today. So, why I'm saying blame the moon is because in 2011, when the game was happening, the moon was void. And just a little astrological piece of information, when the moon is void, we kind of should be void as well. So the human body is mostly affected, and the human spirit is mostly affected by the movement of the moon because it represents our emotional state and it moves every 2.5 days. And while it moves, it goes between one zodiac placement to another zodiac placement. And while it is in between those zodiac placements, it is said that the energy isn't direct. So there are things that are hazy, we might be feeling tired, we might be feeling disconnected, we're kind of unable to balance ourselves out. And so we shouldn't be starting new projects, we shouldn't be having important conversations. A lot of people, including myself, do struggle a little with the energy of the moon being void, which, as I speak right now, it is currently a void. So this void period will be over by 3 o'clock. So the game tonight is not going to be in that period. But in 2011, it was in that period. So the moon was actually void for a really long period of time. So that's not a common occurrence. Most of the time, the moon is void like anywhere between like 2 to 3 minutes and a few hours. And so in 2011, the moon went void at 6:03 p.m. on the day of the game, and it did not come out of void status until 7 a.m. the next morning. So that's quite a long period of time for the moon to be void. That's the first thing. That is mostly what I would say is to blame. Um, Specifically because Carlton are a Taurus energy team and Taurus likes luxurious comfort. So when the moon is void, it gives us the energy of wanting to sleep, and a Taurus kind of vibe is into that. So before the moon went void, it was in Scorpio. The moon hates being in Scorpio. Scorpio is like deep, emotional, moody energy. It's like being deep in your shadows, deep in your fears, deep in your addictions. And she was making aspects that were about masculine energy over feminine energy. There was a head over heart energy. There was conflicts, separation from relationship energy, and there was fighting with authority energy. So that was the aspect that happened right before the moon went void. meaning that that void moon period kind of holds over that energy. So, as well as that one going on, the other aspects that she made that really flavored the energy of that game were an energy of me energy. So, one about communication delays, one about being lost in unfamiliar territory, one about low focus, and one about fighting with family. There was also an energy that was ego based communication and kind of lost in the darkness and being overrun by overthinking, like overthinking fears and overthinking not being good enough, like overthinking self-worth. Okay. And the planets in 2011 were positioned in places that were about ego communication, that were about being overly critical of relationships. We were riding in a new moon in Virgo energy as well, which is coming up against that other energy. It wants us to sort of look at our habits in relation to emotions. Uranus, the rebel planet, was in Aries. So angry Aries fire sign with that rebellious energy. And our wound story, so our Chiron placement, Chiron was in deep, deep emotional territory, while that moon was in dark, shadowy, addiction, fear-based content energy. So none of that is in line with Taurus energy. In fact, I would call all of those aspects Taurus energy kryptonite. And this year is almost the complete opposite. So remembering, if you listen to any of my other rambles about this, Taurus energy is very reliant on team energy, on family energy, on each player feeling valued for the part that they play in the family. And their communication needs to be a collective family communication. And we've seen that happen across a lot of the games that Carlton have won, and that seems to be the vibe that really shifted their energy before they went on their winning streak. And so the energy that was available to them in 2011 was kryptonite to that energy. It was about ego. It was about fighting with family. It was about being in an emotional, like alone. Scorpio energy, Scorpio moon is like alone energy, and it's like all about me. And you know, with the aspects that were about being lost in unfamiliar territory, Taurus energy needs comfort. They need to feel like they are in familiar territory. So this time around, the energy that the universe is providing today for all of the players to tap into is Taurus energy gold. Okay, so yes, we are in a void moon, but the moon is going to shift into Cancer at 3 o'clock today. So by the time we get to the game tonight at 7:50, I think it is, we'll be in Cancer moon energy. We won't be in this void moon static, tiring kind of energy. So the moon loves being in Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so she is happy there. And before it went void, so the energy that is holding over this void moon period, we were in an energy of talking about our next steps, about connecting with our family, about enjoying people. And when they are playing, there is a beautiful aspect happening with Jupiter, who is in Taurus energy as well. And that is giving mental strength, good energy for luck, good energy for fortune, work and abundance, and also a sense of justice. And at the same time, we have the nodes of destiny in Aries and Libra. Libra is a Venus ruled sign, and so is Taurus is a Venus ruled sign, so we get a little bit of extra prompting there, as well as the Carlton players, quite a lot of them have got a Libra North node. So not only being empowered by Venus energy being picked up, but also being empowered by their nodes of destiny. So where they are pointed, the purpose for them in life also being activated a lot more by the nodes, and also by the positioning of Venus. So the planets today, which are mostly positive aspects for Taurus energy, are in organized communication that's being slowed down for reanalyzing. So Taurus energy, again, needing that communication across that family vibe in order to be able to push forward. Our relationship energy is in the sign of the sun. So this is a Venus energy in the positive, not like last time when the Venus energy was in a sort of nitpicky, judgmental, perfectionist, sort of criticizing sign. So Taurus again being helped by Venus because Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus. And the new moon in Pisces. So because we had a Gemini quarter moon yesterday, which is what really took away the chances of Melbourne to be able to win yesterday, and really gave Collingwood the advantage energy-wise. Because we had that Gemini quarter moon yesterday, that sort of wraps up and allows communication around what the Pisces new moon sort of taught everybody, which the Pisces new moon was on the 31st of August. So everyone has sort of purged any emotional blocks that they would have been dealing with. So the Pisces new moon would have brought up the emotional blocks, and that Gemini moon last night kind of brought a lot of communication around what that was. So the players today, once the moon falls into Cancer, they should be out of their emotional blockages and be able to be moving forward in quite a comforting way. And so again, yes, the moon being in its favorite sign of Cancer. So Cancer, the mother energy, and Taurus is Mother Earth energy. So they really enjoy each other, the comfort there. And so just those two comparisons of energy from 2011, the game that everyone's getting their trauma triggered by, and the energy available today is absolutely not the same. And I think the void moon here really is one of the most interesting comparisons. The games that we have seen during a void moon that I have also looked into have also been very interesting. It's just not a good energy to be doing such a physical based sport. It's not a good energy for communication either. So again, not great for team based sports. But this year the moon is in its most favored sign. And looking back over the last few times that there was a Cancer moon, and Carlton have done very well. They have a number of players with high Cancer energy in their charts as well. So really the best position for people to be dealing with a Cancer moon is actually people who have a lot of Cancer energy in their charts, because Cancer can be quite a difficult sign when the moon is there. It's quite emotional and watery. And so more aggressive signs like Aries signs and Leo signs really do find it difficult in that Cancer moon energy, because they want to be action based, and the Cancer moon kind of asks us to be a little bit softer. So with, footy kind of being quite a masculine energied sport, a lot of the teams who are in that fire energy do find it a little more difficult to communicate and push forward. So, also not to mention, like, the players are obviously completely different. So 2011 to now. And the players that we currently have in the Carlton team, the energy that they are being activated by, out of all of the teams that I've looked at and deep dived down, Carlton overall, the members of their team have the most supportive energy from the universe. And it's one of the reasons why I say it looks to me like the universe wants Carlton to win, because Taurus energy, a lot of the planets are in Taurus. We're in Virgo season, which is an earth sign as well. Taurus is an earth sign. There's a lot of support going to fixed energies. Taurus is a fixed energy. Earth signs, Taurus is an earth energy. And also with the nodes of destiny being in Aries Libra, that axis is quite good for supporting Venus energy, which is, Taurus is Venus ruled. Venus also just came out of its retrograde, so it has renewed its push forward, and it has renewed its push forward as well by shifting from being a feminine energy focus, so being in our feelings and our intuitive side, and it's now in its masculine energy focus, which again is excellent overall for the sport, but it is more excellent for Taurus and Libra because they are both ruled by Venus. So in astrology, we say that Venus is kind of in go mode right now, which is taking action on things that came up during the last 6 months. And as any Carlton supporter knows, over the last 6 months, over that last period of time, there's been a lot of changes for Carlton that has been quite supportive. So being able to now be in its go mode for a Taurus energy team who has found its comfort in family, found its feet as a team, and found a way to value each other as part of the family. And Taurus gets very possessive about that energy. And now being supported by Venus being in its masculine energy, it is a huge push forward. The other side of the individuals is in 2023, where we are right now, the transformational energy for people born between 25, who are now 25 and between 25 and 32, the transformational energy available to them it's much more extreme than we've seen in the past. So that really speaks to the way that the players have managed to transform and have been supported to transform. And it's really taking rapid movement steps in being able to accept transformation just across the board for the players. So the sort of players that we are dealing with are not the sort of players that we were dealing with in 2011. And the energy of the universe is really supportive of Taurus energy, and Carlton is a Taurus energy team. So if you're getting your little traumas triggered from 2011, it's a completely different energy, available from the universe, one that is very supportive of the sort of game that Carlton play, of the sort of vibe and energy of the overall team and the vibe and energy of the individual players. So hopefully that can calm you down a little bit. And I have said from the moment I started rabbit holing astrology and AFL that to me it looks like the universe is providing the energy to Carlton to win. And if they can tap into it, which they seem to have been able to, then they've got it. And I mean, Carlton soul stealers, let's be honest, shouldn't be too hard to eat a swan for dinner. So go Blues, go sports, and make sure you stay in that positive energy, because as we have seen, Carlton supporters in their positive energy can make things happen. Good luck tonight. I will be supporting from my couch. Go Blues.